Hi, everybody. Welcome to the IC Topic Chats for today, March 20th. Earlier today, I did an ad hoc presentation, meaning I wasn't prepared to do one at first. I had some notes on something I wanted to do in the future, and our presenter was running a little late. So I did a presentation, but this is my redo of the presentation with actual slides. So let's see how it goes. This presentation's on 5 mistakes new consultants make, and hopefully you'll avoid these things. These are things that I've seen over the years that maybe drive me nuts, or it's just these are things that maybe new consultants haven't learned, they probably shouldn't do. So here's some different things, and I'm doing it at a point versus a counterpoint idea. So let's get started. The first one is the lone wolf versus Cinderella. So think about this. Um, there are a lot of folks who start off their independent consulting practice, and they they think to themselves, I know what I need to do. I'm just going to go out there. I'm going to figure this out. I'm a lone wolf. I am so special. Everyone will love my very special way of doing things. So I don't need to follow the same playbook everybody else has followed. I'm special, right? Um, that's the lone wolf mentality. My first reaction is these people are uninformed. They need to get they need better understanding of the marketplace. They need to understand what clients need. And that this I'm going to just break all the rules idea. It's not that we really have rules. There's just ways that we figured out that work. And so you fall into those patterns and you're more likely to be successful. So there's the Cinderella perspective. Now, Cinderella was modest. Obviously, we don't need to go into her stepmother and her stepsister's kind of a scenario, but she was very aware of her surroundings. And when an opportunity came along, she was able to pounce on it. The opportunity in this situation being the prince. So if you intend on breaking the mold, um, it's going to be a long road of marketing before your clients can get to figure you out. So I think we are all special in our own way. We all bring something different because we're all just special individuals. But if you're intending on just completely going your own way, it's going to take a long time before people catch up to you, and or you figure out how to make your special thing work for others. It makes more sense to kind of figure out the pattern and then add your special touches within that scenario. Similar to this, the next one, let's talk about the speedster versus Captain Slow Try. Okay, so the speedster is the person who says, I'm going to move fast. I'm going to break things. Even though I don't have any work, I'm going to quit my day job. I'm going to focus on this work. And if I work really, 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 really hard, I'll be super successful. And you might, but it will likely be a while. And a lot of things are going to have to happen. You're going to struggle before you launch, before you get to that point. It's not typical that you can go from 0 to 60 in a very short time. Um, Folks in their first 5 years typically have an annual revenue of around $80,000 per year. That's it, total revenue. It's after 5 or more years that you actually start to generate about 150,000. That's something we've seen with the surveys. So if somebody came to me and says, I want to start an independent consulting practice and they have no background, no story for this, I would certainly want them to make sure that they have those evaluation skills. But the other piece is start picking up side hustles, keep your day job and do the side thing, work as a subcontractor for some people before you go and do that, and make sure you've got kind of a smooth pathway to starting an independent consulting practice. All right, third idea, field dreamer versus karma queen. So the field dreamer is that whole idea from the Field of Dreams that says, if I build it, they will come. Not likely. They won't come unless you talk to them first and you get to know their needs and you have an interaction within your community and you identify a niche. And so on the left, you see Kevin Costner in the field, and on the right, you see a social network. You need to understand your social network. You need to understand who people are and how they operate. Start to create connections with people, whether it be somebody who's got work and they need assistance with a subcontract, or if you need to connect with clients who are looking for evaluators. Maybe it's within the Grant Professionals Association. Maybe you know some people in your desired community of practice where you'd like to support with evaluation. All right, next one. The professor know-it-all versus the evaluation professional. I wish you guys could see my notes on this because they're long and I have a lot of feelings about this. This is the, first of all, you don't have to worry about being the professor know-it-all because those people aren't here. They're certainly not finding my videos. They're certainly not engaging with the American Evaluation Association. So professor know-it-all is that individual who never really thought about program evaluation until somebody said, I can pay you money for this. And they are approached usually out of the blue. They oftentimes work for one of the social science departments at a university, and there's somebody at the university writing a grant, and they get to that page 17 where it says I need a program evaluator, and it's required, and they go, who do I know? And they start thinking about research professors, and so they go out and they find that research professor and say, apparently I can pay you some ridiculous amount of money. Sometimes it's low, sometimes it's high. It's never, in my experience, those folks don't necessarily know how to budget their time. They get involved with this work, and what invariably happens is they get down the road and they say, oh my God, I don't have enough time for this, or you're not paying me enough for this. And if you look at their budget, oftentimes they're getting paid more than what I might be getting paid, and yet they're complaining. You find them at the if they make it to a conference with other evaluators, with their usually with their clients, they're the ones who are complaining the loudest about things that the rest of us don't complain about. So what I want you to do is think about becoming the evaluation professional. And so you see this picture from the American Evaluation Association's website of 3 evaluators, including, I think that's Dr. Tasha Parker in there, who are professional evaluators who are engaging and they're connecting with one another around evaluation concepts. All right, next one. And I think this is our last one. The grindstone noser versus the stool balancer. So on the left, you've got the person who says, I am great at evaluation and I love it. If I do a fantastic job with program evaluation, I don't need to worry about anything else because I'm a great evaluator. So these are the folks who are all about being evaluation, but they don't really think about administration or marketing. And so I like to think about the stool. The stool is often used as a reference in sustainability world, but I like to use it for thinking about a consulting practice because your consulting practice can't completely rely on good program evaluation work. It should absolutely have good program evaluation work, but you also need to balance that with the other 2 pieces of administration. That's the having accounting and setting up an operation, setting up an office, hiring people to work with you, and paying your taxes, as a lot of us did recently, and marketing, which is just that connecting with people and creating opportunities to develop new work. If you don't have those 3 pieces supporting your consulting practice, you're not likely to be successful. Anyway, so this was my presentation. These were notes that I took kind of randomly on a plane a couple weeks ago, in the event that maybe I'd have to do a presentation. And out of the blue, I had to do a presentation today. And so this is my redo of the presentation with actual pictures to kind of illustrate what I was talking about at the time. So hopefully you enjoyed it. Come back on Thursdays at noon Eastern time for more IC topic chats. I'm Matt, and I'll see you guys around.